Hey everyone, ready to dive into something kind of interesting? We're going to be talking about what attracts younger women to older men.
Oh, that's a juicy one.
Right. And it's going to be more than just the typical stereotypes, right? Like the whole sugar daddy thing. We're going deeper than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so our source material for this is this piece called Older Men Will Get a Younger Woman's Attention by Doing This. Age gaps.
And it actually goes way beyond just the surface level.
It does.
So right off the bat, it jumps into this whole maturity thing.
Yeah.
But it's like not just about age, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like it really emphasizes that it's not just how old you are on paper, but more about like a maturity of, I guess you can say like emotional maturity.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, how you handle your responsibilities, relationships, even just like your own emotions and feelings.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And the article really highlights this when it talks about like the wisdom and decisiveness and self-assurance that you often see in older men.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Compared to maybe, like, I don't want to stereotype or anything, but sometimes you see that emotional instability or uncertainty in younger guys. Not all the time, but you know.
Right, not a blanket statement or anything.
Exactly.
But it is interesting to think about how the experiences that come with age, like going through different careers, relationships, maybe even some tough times, like
Yeah.
all of that shapes how you approach life and love,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it makes you think about what you really want.
And it's not just about older men being perfect. It's more about how those experiences, both good and bad, they can really help you understand yourself better.
For sure.
And also what you're looking for in a partner.
I was just thinking about this quote from the article. It said, "When a woman feels like she doesn't have to guess what you're thinking, she will naturally feel more at ease with you."
Ew, that's a good one.
It's so true.
It is. It is. And it kind of brings us to communication, you know?
Right, yeah. It's like younger guys might still be figuring out how to express their feelings clearly, whereas older men, they probably had more practice, right?
More reps.
More reps, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that can make a woman feel more secure, more stable in the relationship.
Definitely. Definitely. And it's not just about saying what you feel or think. It's also about like truly listening,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
being present in the moment, picking up on those nonverbal cues. The article touches on this a little bit, but I think there's even more to unpack here,
You're right.
especially when it comes to emotional intelligence and how that plays into attraction.
Totally. Okay, so we've got maturity, communication. Let's not forget confidence.
Yeah.
The article suggests that older men often have a different kind of confidence. It's not like they're trying to prove anything. It's more like a quiet confidence that comes from experience.
Oh, I love that distinction. It's not arrogance. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's like this inner knowing, you know?
Right. It's like you're comfortable who you are. You're not trying to be anyone else.
Exactly. And I think that can be incredibly attractive, especially when it's combined with a genuine interest in the other person.
Oh, definitely. Like you're not playing games. You're just being yourself.
Yeah.
And speaking of being genuine, let's talk about dating. The article really stresses intentionality. It's not just about like doing big splashy things. It's the thought behind it.
Ooh, that's so interesting.
Right. What do you think about that part?
I loved that part. And it kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier, like maturity and communication. When a man puts thought into a date, it shows he's not just looking for any connection. He's looking for something meaningful, something special. You know what I mean?
Sure, totally.
Oh,
Like he's
yeah.
taking the time to really consider her interests. Maybe he remembers something she mentioned weeks ago and incorporates that into the date.
Mhm.
It's that level of care and attention that's attractive.
Totally.
It's like the difference between a text that says, "Hey, want to hang out?"
Mhm.
versus planning a whole weekend getaway based on something she loves.
Right.
One is just kind of like generic. The other one feels special, personalized.
Exactly. And it's not about spending a ton of money. It's about the effort, the thoughtfulness.
Okay, so now let's flip the script for a sec. Sometimes, younger women might feel a bit intimidated to approach an older man. Maybe they assume he would be interested. But the article touched on how important approachability is.
That's such a good point.
Right, like we all have our insecurities, we might misread signals.
Absolutely.
But the article highlighted things like smiling, open posture, a warm demeanor. Just little things that can make a big difference in signaling that you're open to connecting with someone no matter their age.
You're so right.
And it's not just about attracting younger women, it's just about being open to connection in general. And that ties into another point from the article that I loved about embracing your strengths.
Oh, tell me more about that.
It's like, instead of trying to fit into some mold of what you think you should be, It's about owning who you are and the awesome qualities you bring to the table.
I love that. So powerful.
Right. What really stood out to you from this first part of the article?
You know, I keep thinking about that quote about not having to guess what someone's thinking.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important clear communication is, emotional intelligence, and just like being comfortable in your own skin.
So true.
And it makes me wonder if those things are even more important than age when it comes to creating a lasting attraction.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a perfect lead-in to the next part of our conversation. We should dive deeper into that whole emotional intelligence thing.
I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it.
Okay, so, you know, we were just talking about communication and confidence.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is a big part of this whole puzzle, too. You know what I mean?
I think so, yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those things that just you get better at it over time with experience.
Yeah. The more you go through, the more you learn.
Right, exactly.
And the article kind of hinted at that, I think.
Mhm.
It wasn't like specifically about emotional intelligence, but when it was talking about older men being like more relationship ready and decisive,
Mhm.
I think that suggests like a certain level of emotional maturity. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Because emotional intelligence at its core is about being able to understand your own emotions and like
Yeah.
being aware of the emotions of the people around you.
Yeah.
So it's empathy,
Right.
self-awareness, and like even just having those healthy conflict resolution skills.
Yeah, that's huge. Knowing how to, I don't know, like hit the brakes in an argument
Yes.
before things get out of control.
Exactly.
I feel like that's something we all have to learn as we go, unfortunately.
Right. Trial by fire sometimes, right?
Yeah, definitely a few relationship mishaps along the way, probably.
Exactly.
But yeah, the article was talking about how older men often have more relationship experience. And, you know, I don't think that automatically makes you emotionally intelligent,
Right.
but I do think it gives you more opportunities to, I guess, practice those skills.
Exactly. Like the more you practice, the better you get at anything.
Right.
Right. And especially in relationships, emotional intelligence can be the difference between like a connection that just fizzles out and one that actually grows into something deeper.
Yeah, one that can actually last.
Exactly.
I totally agree. Think about it this way, like, imagine you're dating someone who can't even tell you what they need.
Oh, yeah.
Or every time you have a disagreement, they just get defensive. So draining.
Oh, it's exhausting. It's so exhausting.
You just end up feeling like you're walking on eggshells all the time.
Right. You never know what's going to set them off.
Exactly.
It's like, where's the landmine this time?
Whereas if you're with someone who's emotionally intelligent, they can, like, approach those situations with more understanding
Yeah.
and compassion.
Yes.
They can say how they feel without blaming you or making you feel bad.
Yes, absolutely. And you know they can listen to your perspective without feeling threatened or like needing to win the argument.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it just creates this much safer, more stable kind of dynamic.
100%. You know, something else the article mentioned was how some women find it frustrating when a guy seems unsure about commitment.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that, like, ties back into this whole emotional intelligence thing at all?
Oh, I think it totally can.
Yeah.
In a couple of ways, actually. First, if you're emotionally intelligent, you probably have a good understanding of your own needs
Yeah.
and your own values. You know what you want.
Okay.
You've done the work to figure out what you're looking for in a relationship, which can make you more decisive when you actually find it.
Makes sense. So they're not afraid to commit because they, like, already know what they want.
Right, exactly. They're not afraid of that. And secondly, I think emotional intelligence involves being able to, you know, actually consider the needs and feelings of your partner. So if someone's like on the fence about commitment,
Right.
maybe they're not really in tune with how that uncertainty is actually impacting the other person.
So it's not even that they're not willing to commit. It's more that they're not aware of how that's affecting the other person.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And that awareness is a huge part of emotional intelligence. It's like understanding the impact of your words and your actions on the people
Oh.
around you.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
So we've talked about maturity, communication, confidence, and now emotional intelligence. Are we missing anything?
Let me think.
The article also talked about a man's appearance, but it wasn't really about looking young or trendy. You know?
Right.
It was more about like having a sense of style and putting effort into how you present yourself.
Ooh, that's a good point. And that circles back to what we were talking about before about confidence. When you feel good about yourself, it shows
Totally.
in how you carry yourself, how
Yeah.
you dress, how you take care of your appearance. It's not about, you know, chasing every trend.
Right?
We're trying to look like someone you're not. It's about like expressing your personal style
Okay. Yeah.
in a way that makes you feel good, makes you feel confident and authentic.
And that confidence is super attractive. It's like this signal that you value yourself, you're comfortable in your own skin.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it also kind of hints at that self-awareness we were talking about, which is so important for emotional intelligence.
It's all connected.
Right. It all ties together. And I think it's really important to remember, attraction is complicated. It's a mix of different things.
Oh, sure.
Age might be one factor, but it's definitely not the only one, and maybe not even the most important.
So if we were going to sum all this up for someone listening, what would you say are like the key takeaways? What actually makes a man attractive no matter how old he is?
Okay, let me think. Well, this article has pointed out some really important things. It's not just about your age, it's about what you've learned, how you've grown.
Right.
It's about developing that emotional intelligence, getting good at communicating, and just being your authentic self,
And doing it with confidence.
With confidence,
Yeah.
exactly.
And being intentional about your relationships.
Mhm.
Knowing what you want, being clear about it, wanting a genuine connection.
Yes, exactly. And these qualities, they're not just for a certain age group, they're for everyone. It's about growing as a person and being the best version of yourself.
I love that.
Yeah.
So it's not about trying to be this like stereotypical older man
Right.
or just trying to get with younger women.
Right. It's bigger than that.
It's about having those qualities that make you attractive, period.
Yes.
No matter who you're trying to attract.
Exactly. And I think that's a really powerful message. It's not about what other people think.
Right.
It's about growing from the inside out, discovering who you are.
Yeah.
And that journey never really ends. Right.
You're always growing, always learning.
Exactly. No matter where you are in life or in your relationships.
You know what? The article was focused on what attracts younger women to older men.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these things apply to all relationships, no matter the age difference.
I completely agree. The stuff we've been talking about, maturity, good communication, confidence, emotional intelligence, those are attractive to everyone.
Yeah, they're just good qualities to have, period.
Exactly. And we got to remember, relationships are a two-way street,
Right.
It's not just about what one person brings. It's about finding someone who fits, someone who gets you, challenges you, and appreciates you for who you are.
So well said.
It's about that spark,
That connection.
that connection, right? It goes deeper than just superficial stuff.
So true.
It lets you grow together,
I think that's a good point to, pause for a minute. Think about what really stuck with you from this conversation.
Yeah. What resonated?
What parts really spoke to you?
For me, it's that focus on emotional intelligence. It's something I've been getting more and more interested in, and I think it's just so crucial to any relationship that's healthy and fulfilling.
Yeah, that's a good one. For me, it's remembering to embrace your strengths,
Yeah.
and just being real, being authentic in your relationships.
Oh, that's good.
It's so easy to get caught up in what you think you should be doing, what other people expect, but the best connections happen when you're just being yourself.
100%.
I think that's a great note to leave our listeners on for now. Take some time to really think about what we've talked about today and see how it applies to your own life, your own relationships.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll be back soon with the final part of this deep dive.
Can't wait.
Until then, happy reflecting. All right, we're back. So we've talked about a lot in this deep dive, like all the stuff that makes older men attracted to younger women. But I think our conversation has gone way past just age.
I think so too. We haven't just been talking about a number, right?
Exactly. It's more about those qualities like maturity, communication, confidence. Remember that emotional intelligence
It's
thing?
huge. Don't forget style and just being approachable.
Yeah. So as we wrap things up here, I want to go back to one of the big takeaways from the article. Attracting a younger woman. It's not about trying to be someone you're not.
Totally. That was a big one for me.
It's about really owning your strengths.
Yeah, it's so easy to think you got to change yourself for someone else. But honestly, the best connections come when you're just being you,
100%. There's that saying, right?
Yeah.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Hmm.
If you're not taking care of yourself, how can you be a good partner?
It's true. So instead of focusing on how to attract someone, what if we think about what WE bring to the table?
Love that. What are your best qualities? What makes you a great partner?
Right. And how can you keep building on those strengths?
Exactly. It's like personal growth. It never really stops.
Never.
It's a journey. So as we finish up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thought.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
What strengths do you bring to your relationships? Think about it.
What are you good at? What makes you awesome to be around? Really take some time to think about those things.
Because remember, growing as a person, it's not just for you. It helps everyone around you too.
So go out there and be confident, be yourself.
Let the world see how great you are.
Who knows what amazing connections you might make?
That's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.